And tonight we have our homegrown star. She's a star. She just has to own it, all right? From the San Francisco Opera. I moved here about 3.5 years ago, and I spent my first Christmas a little lonely. I thought, I'm in a very strange city, so what do you do when you're lonely in a strange city at Christmas? You go see La Boheme at the opera. And, cheer yourself up, I guess. And there was a Mimi in that production that just blew me away. And I thought, oh my God, if I can be in a city that can have a singer, a soprano, and La Boheme like that, then I'm at home. So Leah Crocetto and that performance finally made me realize that San Francisco was home. And so let me read some of her other credits so you know who you're about to see. I'm sure you all do know because you're here, and you're fans of hers. But I'll read some of this. She's a winner of the 2010 Metropolitan Opera National Council auditions. She made her San Francisco Opera debut as Sister Dulcina in the 2009 production of Puccini's Il Trittico. Well, I'm not a big opera queen. I just play one on TV, so be patient with me, okay? She's also been in Turandot. That's when everyone took notice of her here, when she played Liu in Turandot. I asked her backstage, lady, if it was Turandot or Turandot, and she said it was either one. Oh, all right? So you behave, okay? Most recently, she was at the Met and Turandot. Thank you, darling. She'll be in Santa Fe this summer. I'll let her talk about that. She's going to be in Bordeaux. I adore her. I could go on and on about her. When she was Desdemona in Othello, and for the English National Opera, it was written that Leah Crocetto's Desdemona is thrillingly assertive, both dramatically and vocally. This is a woman who won't be silenced, who returns to plead her case no matter how many times her husband denies her. Crocetto's vocal force renegotiates the opera's power dynamics. For once, we're not reading against the text, but setting Othello against his musical equal. Crocetto's Willow Song is the mature, dramatic allegory of a woman who goes knowingly to her death, not the artful musings of a woman child. While the Ave Maria, sung in a final twist of the knife to a virgin used as a dartboard in the previous scene, is a model of simplicity and elegance. Ladies and gentlemen, the simply elegant Lucia. Someday, Leah Crocetto.
She started my career. I'm so happy to be here. This is so fun for me.
We're happy to have you here. This Super Bowl week.
Traffic.
I know, Who are you rooting for in
I don't
the
even
Super
know
Bowl?
who's playing.
Good for you. Well, I thought, what could be like the perfect fuck you Super Bowl counter programming at the Curran? I thought an opera singer who loves baseball.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, all the pictures on Instagram right now of the guys working out. I'm like.
but you
What'd you say? I know. I can't wait. I miss it.
But you're a huge Giants fan, right?
Yes.
That's one of the things that we bonded over was
Yeah.
our love of the Giants.
Yeah, I wasn't always. I grew up a Tigers fan.
Right.
Because yeah, really? Yes. That's amazing. Yes, good. I'm from Adrian. I grew up in Adrian, but I used to think I was going to grow up and marry Travis Fryman, the third baseman for the Detroit Tigers, and that didn't happen.
Speaking of your life.
Sorry, the microphone. I'm going to move this up a little
There you go.
because I like to lean forward.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Great. But then I became really good friends with Adam and Nicole Flowers, who are like family to me now. And through hanging out with them and talking baseball and really talking baseball with Adam, really got me my blood pumping about baseball again. And so I started to go to games here, and then I was like, oh my gosh, these guys are amazing.
Right.
I love all of them.
Right. I was, when I was first thinking of having you here, I thought, wouldn't it be great to pair her with Matt Duffy, the other third baseman, because he's had such a rookie year. And I thought, you've
been
had such
amazing.
a rookie year.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, to have these two rookies together, and you could sing together, you could like sing like, let's call the whole thing
I
off
could
together.
sing to him.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yes.
Yes. And then maybe he'd propose at the end.
I
Right?
love Matt Duffy. I know
I do
everyone loves
too.
Hunter. I know everyone loves Hunter, but I love
Matt Duffy too.
Same here.
He
but-
saved us so many times
yeah.
last season.
But he wrote a great essay about being the new kid on the team that was so moving. I was like crying at the end of it.
Aw.
But he said he got 3 pieces of advice when he joined the Giants as a rookie. One was play big. The other one was don't pay any attention to the names on the backs of the jerseys. And the third one was don't look up.
I love that.
And I thought, you could give an opera singer the
Yes.
same advice.
I've been given that. I think some of the best advice. What was the first one you said?
Play
Go Play
big.
big. Play big. Hello, you're filling,
Right.
4,000 seat theaters. But then I think the other side of that is don't pay attention to critics as well.
Right.
If you sing for critics, then you're singing for the wrong reason. That's another. That's like don't pay attention to the names on the back of the jerseys.
Right, exactly.
Because you can only do so much out there. You can only do your best, and your best might not be everybody's cup of tea, which,
Well, you were just
which sucks because I'm a people pleaser and I want everybody to like me. There, I said it.
own it. Well, I think all these people do, but
Oh, well, I can't. I
or
wish I
you
could
will
see
by
more
or you will by the end. You were just on jury duty this week.
Well, I'm on jury duty right now, but I haven't been called yet, thank God.
Yeah.
So
But-
I'm 4:30 afternoon every day. I get on the internet and call the courthouse, and I have one more day. If they call me tomorrow, I'm going to be so mad, and the judge is going to hate me
All right.
because I'm leaving next week. So
But are you comfortable being in the position of being judgmental?
no.
No, because you are in the opera world. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
okay. We will
Well,
leave
we
it
can
at that.
we can go on with that a little bit.
All right. Okay. I mean, but you've won a lot of competitions. I mean, you sort of made your name winning the Metropolitan, national
Yes.
council thing. So you have no problem being judged, I would think.
No. I know walking out. I mean, I walked out here and people are probably like, why'd she wear those boots? They're really bright.
Right.
And that's okay. I don't mind.
Uh-huh.
I turned 36 this year, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm finally in the repertoire that I should be in.
Right.
And, like Sherry used to tell me when I was an Adler Fellow, I needed time to cook, which is why I
Right.
did 3 years here. And being judged is just fine with me because at the end of the day, I've already signed my contract. Give me my fee. It's all good.
That's the kind of diva I like.
Well,
All right.
you got it. I mean, I feel like I'm finally comfortable in my own skin, which has been a long time coming.
Right.
When I was in Maryland, I was a completely different person. I didn't know anything. I was completely green and a sponge, and I soaked up everything. And I had no idea what I was doing. All I knew was that I could sing, and I had a big voice. And, before that, I was, waiting tables
In New York
and
City, right?
yeah, and I'd, out till 4 a.m. singing at jazz clubs and, doing things I shouldn't.
With your little girl, you said that you used to have a little girl croon. I love that
Oh,
term.
yes.
I like that little
Yes,
girl
the
croon.
first time I did Liu here, my piano, remember, Sherry? It was very small, and now I can't do that anymore because my voice is entering the prime of its life, which is so exciting and so fucking scary, too.
Right, yeah.
I like to swear sometimes, too. We're in a casual setting,
I set the
so-
stage for you.
Okay, good.
All right. But do you consider yourself bel canto, lyric, spinto,
Yes.
colchero? Yes. Slut.
I'm easy. What can I say? No, I hate vocal classifications, and I blame Sherry for hating those vocal classifications too. You're over there, so I'm going to be pointing at you all night. Because Sherry broke so many barriers when she was really out there performing, and you sang every gamut of repertoire. And that's what I want to do. I don't want to be held back because of voice type or the way I look or, I'm not as soubrette as somebody else. I want to just, if you put it in front of me, I can sing it. So I'm going to sing it to the best of my ability. And that's kind of where I'm at right now in my life.
But you started out, you didn't really go to school to study to be a singer. You've
No.
had a very different path
Yeah.
to your 36th year.
Yeah.
And this, because you're on the rise now. I mean,
Yeah,
people are
it's
beginning to
weird.
really know who you are in this world.
Yeah.
But you started out studying acting and wanting to be like a singer in like cabarets in New York, and it just wasn't working for you, or
That's a hard life.
Right.
It's hard. I mean, opera, you think opera's hard? Cabaret life is dirty and it's hard. But I didn't study opera. I actually started in voice at Moody Bible Institute in Chicago, where I met my teacher, Arnold, and who teaches very similarly to Sherry. So the two of them combined, it was a no-brainer to just sort of
Well, I have to
dovetail
back
on
up
with
for a
Sherry.
second.
Yeah.
we have
Yeah.
Arnold at a Bible college to
Uh-huh.
thank for you.
Yes.
Oh, I wasn't
Well,
prepared
and
for
it
that.
just so happened that while I was in New York, he was covering Kalaf in Turandot. So I had lessons before every show, so I was singing my face off,
Wow.
because I had my teacher there warming me up before every
Amazing,
performance. And
amazing. But you almost were ready to sort of give up and pack it all in, and you had the audition at
Well,
the Met for a chorus or for the
yes,
chorus?
yes. I've auditioned for several choruses. I'll tell you all about that. I left Moody because I was not a Bible scholar, and you kind of have to be to go to school there. And I like to drink red wine and dance and, swear. So they didn't really smile upon that. So I didn't stay there for very long. I was there for a year and a half. But my teacher became my second father, which is sometimes dangerous because when you put that much, what do you call it? When you're that connected to someone, it's hard to let go. But that didn't happen for us because there were times when we didn't see each other for months at a time. So, but yeah, I left there after a year and a half, and I moved home to Adrian, Michigan. And then I used to drive every other week to Chicago, 4.5 hours. Well, 4 hours when I was driving. And have my voice lessons because I knew all that was in me was calling me to be an opera singer. I just knew that that's what I was to be doing. And so I just wanted to study, and I wanted to learn my languages, and thankfully languages really do come naturally to me. So I didn't miss I caught on pretty quickly when I became an Adler Fellow. But then I moved to New York and decided that I was going to be on Broadway. And, that didn't work because I wasn't equity. So who wants to get up at 6 a.m. to wait in a cattle call? Not me. Sleep is important. Just saying. So I waited tables, and I was dying inside because I wasn't singing, and it was killing me. And so then I found the cabaret scene, and I would just go down Restaurant Row and pop into, various cabaret piano bars, and I would just sing my face off till 4 a.m. And I wish I could remember her name, but they're the Rum House on 47th, I think. They're 47th, 45th, maybe. Ooh, I don't remember. Thank you. I sang a duet with Christian Slater in there. He would not remember, let me tell you. But I did. And Linda, the pianist, I think her name was Linda. I don't remember. She'd been there for 25 years or 30 years, probably since it opened. And it was just, that was the best and the worst time of my life.
Wow.
I mean, I had an air mattress on the floor.
Wow.
My apartment had roaches and mice, and we would poison them, and then they'd crawl out and they'd just sit there and look at you.
My neighbor Jerry's here. She has such a mice problem right now. So I'm staring at her.
You feel me, Jerry. Where is she, Jerry?
She's right there.
It was just horrendous. And then I got a call that my dad was really sick. And that sort of threw me for a huge loop, because my family, if you know me, you know that my family is the closest thing to me. I have 3 younger sisters, and we're all too close. Everybody's in everybody else's business and offering advice, and these guys are nodding because they've seen us in action. But I love them, and when I got the call from my mom that my dad was sick, it was the worst phone call you could get. And she said, I'd really appreciate it if you could come home for a while and help me out. That day, I had an audition at the Met for the chorus. And it's so funny because a couple years before that, I auditioned for the lyric chorus in Chicago. Because at that point, I was, 24, and I was like, I'm too old. All my friends have already done programs, and they're singing everywhere, and I give up. I thought I was too old. God bless Sherry Greenewald for seeing something in me at my Chicago audition and realizing that I had what it took to actually, be a great Verdi singer. And you said that to me in the audition, you and Mark both. And, they asked me about Trovatore that the day I auditioned for them, and that's one of the roles I sing the most. So it's like they knew something. But I auditioned for the Met Chorus and the Chicago Lyric Chorus, and it turns out that both of them, the Met Chorus was the year before Donald Palumbo took over, and when I auditioned for the Lyric Chorus, Donald Palumbo was there. And he's running the chorus now at the Met, and he is the best coach. So I coached with him while I was there, and he had no recollection of me auditioning for him. So we had a good laugh about that. But then I auditioned for this when my dad finally said, you are done taking care of us.
Nice.
You must go and do what you're meant to do. So I moved to Chicago and got back with my teacher, and I auditioned for Mark and Sherry, and I learned Donna Anna in like 3 days, the entire role, because they wanted to see if I was the real deal. And I was.
But you Verdi and Puccini, that's your life now. But do you ever miss Cole Porter?
All the time.
Yeah.
Which is why when I do recitals, I try to sing. I try to throw a few on the end.
Would you do some Cole Porter
Yes.
for us now?
Yes.
Okay, she's gonna do some
Yes.
Cole Porter, people.
Oh, I will. This is Noah Linkvist. So Noah was, were you on Louisa Miller? Yeah. He would timidly knock on my door every night and give me like one note because, he'd not, so we never really worked together. But then when I was in New York this past month, 2 months, I found out that he was in the city and the pianist that I had been working with to learn Rossini, which is hard, had left. And so I called Noah and begged him. And so we worked together for the first time coaching in New York, and I fell in love with him. So I asked him to do this. And yeah, he's fabulous. So this is jazz, not debut for you. His 15-year-old self is loving every moment of this. Tell them.
No, this is my first time in 15 years publicly performing jazz. So
He's awesome, and he's an Adler Fellow right now in his 3rd year.
Strange, dear, but true, dear, when I'm close to you, dear, the stars fill the sky, so in love with you and I. Even without you, my arms fold about you. You know, darling, why so in love with you am I. In love with the night mysterious, the night when you first were there. In love with my joy delirious, when I knew that you could care. So taunt me and hurt me, deceive me, desert me. I'm yours till I die. So in love, so in love, so in love with you, my love, am I. The night when you first were there, when I knew that you could care. So taunt me and hurt me, deceive me, desert me. I'm yours till
Thank you. I like singing that stuff.
Oh my God, we like listening to that stuff.
Thank you.
Lord, when I go to the opera and it sort of blows the top of my head off, and I love it so much. I'm not schooled in it really. I just love it. So I tell friends it's like when you have really great sex with someone, but then you
Yes.
realize you don't know the person's last name. Some people know what I'm talking about.
My Papa Jim's here, so we can't talk about stuff like that.
But that
kidding.
was, I have the same feeling, but I knew that person's last name. So that was amazing.
Thank you.
That was really beautiful. Really
That's jazz. That is that kind of music. It's so inside. It's all about emotion.
Right,
It's all
yeah.
about desperation.
There's a poet named James Fenton
Mm-hmm.
who said a cabaret song has got to be written for the middle voice, ideally,
Yes.
because you've got to hear the wit of the words.
Yes.
And a cabaret song gives the singer room to act, more even than an opera singer.
For
Is that
sure.
true?
Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when Noah and I were rehearsing for this event, we were talking about keys, and there were a couple songs that we did that were definitely too high because they weren't in my middle voice. But I could have obviously transposed them, but who has time to do that? So I went with my favorites, which is
Okay,
what we're doing
right,
tonight.
right.
But that's very true. I was way more comfortable in the middle register and the low, to be honest. I mean, you'll hear
Right.
later.
I was privy to a rehearsal earlier.
Yeah.
Just wait, folks.
I love, and actually my chest voice and my low register helps me a lot in Verdi. A lot. A lot of sopranos shy away from chest voice, and I do not.
Right.
One of my coaches, Matthew, says, he calls it my dip in the chocolate factory. That's the chest voice.
Okay.
So that's what I like to do because it's it's a creamy texture, and it's I like to play. I like to sing opera like I sing jazz too. I like to sing it on emotion because so many times singers are caught up in technique, and I hate that. It doesn't
Right.
move you. Why are you doing it if you're gonna be wrapped up in is my placement okay? You know.
So when you sing opera, right, and as opposed to this, do you get lost in it as you can in that, or are you very aware of placement and I mean, you're not as free in
No.
opera.
I wish I could say yes that I am. I am as free as that in opera, but it's a lie for me. Some people might be. I mean, Sherry was, I would say. Weren't you free and easy? Yeah. I let myself completely go when I was singing Liu at the Met, and I lost my place. And I thank God for the prompter. Because, I mean, if you're a soprano, you've sung Tu che di gel sei cinta 500 times, right, Jen? Yeah, so you know it like the back of your hand. And I've sung lots of performances of it, and I was singing that aria, and I was about to kill myself, and I'm like, where am I? But I was so in the moment, it was awesome and scary as hell at the same time. So I don't think about technique when I sing anymore, unless it's a really hard part, then I do. Or Rossini, then I do. Rossini is killing me right now. It's on my mind because I'm working on Semiramide, which is a 5-hour opera, y'all.
And you're doing that where?
Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you-
Bordeaux, Opera National de Bordeaux actually has a connection with San Francisco Opera in that another soprano that Sherry discovered, Elza Vandenhever, who I love, and I watched her do Maria Stuarda this last week at the Met. Her wife is the artistic director of Bordeaux Opera, and they gave me my European debut in Trovatore. So that's kind of a cool connection to San Francisco there.
Cool. And what was it like to make your debut this year? That's like what everyone wants to know. When
I was in 5th grade, I told my dad that I was going to sing at the Metropolitan Opera. I'd never seen a production. The only opera singers that I knew were Renee Fleming, Pavarotti, and Kathleen Battle. To be honest, I didn't know much about anything, but I loved Renee Fleming, and I had all of her discs. And I thought about that on my debut night, and that I told my dad that. And it kind of, I was super emotional. It's unbelievable to say that your dreams are realized. It's euphoric. There's nothing like it. And I hope that's my wish for all of you, that if you haven't already, that you can say what you wished has happened, because it's amazing. And I'm gonna get emotional. It was awesome. I had 90 people in the audience that night.
Oh my God.
My entire family came from Connecticut, the matriarchs of my family, and let me tell you, they are matriarchs. They're just as Italian as you would picture them. And they speak with the exact accent that you would think. And their hair is just as big as you'd think it would be. But they're all classy ladies because they arrived in a limousine, so.
Oh my God. And then the second performance. What was that like? Was it a bit of a were you just as
Yeah,
emotional?
usually the second performance is always a slump.
Mm-hmm.
But I had done the role so many times, and it wasn't the second performance for the whole cast.
Right.
It was only my second performance. And I had beautiful, wonderful James Morris leading me around on stage. I literally hadn't been on stage until my performance, okay? No, I didn't get to rehearse on the stage. I was flying by the seat of my pants and just dove in. And God bless James Morris. He has been singing at the Metropolitan Opera since 1971, which my great aunt Jeanette, one of the matriarchs, informed me of. And he got there a half an hour earlier than normal, because he knew it was my debut. And he literally held my hand the entire night and walked me through all my staging. And I don't remember any of it because I was so high on adrenaline. I just remember feeling completely taken care of by him. And the second performance was the same. I remember all that. I remember that, though. The first night was just a blur.
Right, yeah. Because, you hear the opera world sometimes can be cutthroat and, full of divas and jealousy. That sounds very like a generous impulse from this
it really
person.
was.
I mean,
it surprised a lot of people in the opera house, to be honest. And I will forever be in his debt for that.
Right.
So, and the woman playing Turandot, it was Lise Lindstrom, who's a Bay Area girl as well.
Right.
So
Cool.
she's homegrown. She started in the chorus here, and now she's singing Turandot all over the world. Isn't that
Wow.
amazing?
Amazing.
Yay, San Francisco!
And you opened the season last
Yeah.
season in San Francisco. Opera.
Yeah, I
so
did.
So what was that like to go full that arc from coming
San
up through the ranks?
Francisco, there's nothing like singing for you guys. Nothing. Because you know me so well, and I feel like you can, that's a little scary too, that you know me as well as you do. But it was amazing singing Louisa Miller, a role that has been with me since I was an Adler Fellow. Sherry and Mark gave me the scene Tu punisci mi as a finale concert number, and I learned it. And David Gockley will tell you that that's the night that he decided that I was going to open his last season in Louisa Miller. And I'm just really thankful. God's been really good to me this year.
Now,
and
now you're sounding like a Bible college
but
kid.
I can't. It's true, though. I'm so thankful, and just, there's no other way to say it. I have so much thanks.
I mean,
Habadank.
you sound very grateful, humble, and like when it all comes true, it's a quiet thing,
Yeah.
right? It's very quiet.
It kind of, actually, yeah. That's a great segue into the next song,
Thank
Kevin.
you. Get up and sing.
He's not kidding. It was a quiet thing. It's that moment after you come off the opera stage and it's just you in your dressing room and you're like, oh my word, I just sang at the Met. But that's how I felt the first night I sang Leo here as well. I was in my dressing room alone and it was just like, did that really just happen? You know? The bells and whistles aren't always going to be there. When it all comes true, just the way you planned, it's funny, but the bells don't ring. It's a quiet thing. When you hold the world in your trembling hand, you'd think you'd hear a choir sing. It's a quiet thing. There are no exploding fireworks. Where's the roaring of the crowd? Maybe it's the strange new atmosphere way up here among the clouds. But I don't hear the drums. I don't hear the band. The sounds, I'm told, such moments bring. Happiness comes in on tiptoe. Well, what do you know? It's a quiet thing, a very quiet thing. Thank you.